All right.
Can I present last, by the way, because I'm the first on the list, but I need more time since I just got out of the dentist.
Oh,
Mm.
sure, miss. Sure. So before that, I think that just want to make sure who will go first. I think we have Donald here. We have
Suryani, because we have
yes.
Norman and Deborah, I think, joining us for the first time, maybe we take introduction, just quick introduction of each. Where
Oh,
we are
okay.
from, yeah, just quick one.
Oh, okay, okay. We have Norman and also which one else?
I think Deborah
Donald.
also first time.
Oh, Deborah. Deborah is, oh yeah, she's my friend. I was the one. Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. So I'm Suryani. So welcome to the Book Brewers. It's very nice meeting you all today because we have several friends, new friends here. We have Norman. Hi, Norman.
Hello,
So,
Surani.
hello. Do you mind please to introduce yourself to us here?
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Norman. You can definitely can call me Norman. Currently, I live BSD and I also work for M Energy. We are supplying energy storage system to for construction as well as mining. That's all from my side.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us, Norman. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Okay, we still have one more friends here. Hi, Deborah.
Halo Kak.
Hello. Do you mind please to introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Deborah, and now I live in Jakarta and working in a PLN company,
Mm,
especially in corporate communication. I think
mm.
that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, welcome Norman and Deborah to our book brewers today. I think we have several friends today who would love to share about the book that they have read. We have Pipit here with the D-Day Landing, Bittersweet, The Power of Self-Mastery, Transform Fear, Doubt, Anger and Pain by Paramita, and next Donald by Decisive by Cheap, and then Health is it? And Gusti, last Lost Connection, and the last is Norman Reset Indonesia. Okay, thank you. All right. As usual, I think that we are going to listen to some of our friends later on, and also by they have done sharing their book. Probably we have some question. You may ask the question later directly to the floor. Here just now Miss Pipit said that she would love to have it for the last person who will share. Does anyone here would love to go first? Uh, d- uh,
I have a
Donald or
feeling Donald
Norman?
would like to start.
Yeah. Will Donald start first, or because Norman looks like very, how is it?
I need somebody to start first because this is also my first time, so I need to observe how
All
it's
right.
going.
Sure, sure.
What
So,
about Donald? Donald is the founder of these book brewers. Maybe he can show the newcomers how to do the book review first. Donald.
yeah, I
Yes.
think Donald, is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sure. Okay,
Thank
there we
you,
go.
Suryani, for the chance. Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity. Usually we have some questions, but yeah, it is flexible, so we do not have a fixed number of questions, but I will share mine based on this question. So I will share the question in the chat. The title of the book and what it's about, and then why did you decide to read the book? What are your key takeaways from the book? Is there a question that you would like to discuss, and any question from the audience? So first, the title of the book is Decisive. It is by Chip and then Hit. I'm not sure whether I pronounced the name right, but these authors, I think the most famous title from them is Made to Stick. Made to Stick is a very famous book, and they wrote some more books. One of them is Decisive. And what is about? It's about decision making. So about how to make decisions. I think it's quite an important topic. Why did you decide to read the book? I decided to read the book because first, I like the author. I read Made to Stick many years ago, and I like their approach to it. And also because the topic is interesting. It's about making decisions, something that we have to do multiple times a day, and big decisions maybe multiple times a year. So it is an important topic and from one of my favorite authors. What are your key takeaways from the book? So I would like to share the summary of what the book tells about decision making. First of all, there are four feelings of decision making. So these are the obstacles. The first one is called narrow framing. Narrow framing means you limit your options. The classic example of this is when we ask a question to ourselves or to our colleagues whether or not to do something. Should we take that or not? Whether to take this or not, that is a sign of narrow framing because it means that you only have one option and whether to take it or not. So that is the first one, narrow framing. Number two, the second villain is the confirmation bias, which means that we tend to seek only information that confirm our tendency. We already have our preference, and then we only seek information to confirm our preference instead of being objective. Number three, the third villain is short-term emotion. So we can feel attachment maybe to one of the options. If we have worked for it for a long time, we feel emotional investment into it, and this can hinder objective decisions. Short-term emotion. Number four, the last one is overconfidence. So we can feel too confident about the outcome. So these are the four feelings: narrow framing, the confirmation bias, short-term emotion, and overconfidence. And to overcome these feelings, the author proposed four solutions with an abbreviation. The abbreviation is WRAP. WRAP, WRAP. The first one, W, is widen your options. This is to counter the first villain. This is narrow framing. The second one is reality test your assumptions. This is to counter the second villain, which is the confirmation bias. The third solution is attain distance before deciding. This is to counter the third villain, short-term emotion. And the fourth solution is prepare to be wrong. And this is to counter the last villain, which is overconfidence. So widen your options, reality test your assumptions, attain distance before deciding, and prepare to be wrong. So the first one is we need to widen our options. We need to seek new options. There are several methods, but I think I don't have time to elaborate on the methods on how to widen the options. The second one is we need to reality test. We need to be objective to assess. So after we have the options, we need to assess the options objectively. That is the second step. Number three is we need to attain distance before deciding. That is, we need to become a neutral observer and then we make the decision. So we can overcome short-term emotion that way. And lastly, after we make the decision, we need to handle the aftermath. After we make a decision, we will see how the decision unfold. What is the result? So the last thing that we need to do is to prepare to be wrong. For each of these, there are steps that the authors proposed. But the key thing is this is the framework, right? Widen the option, reality, test your assumption, attain distance, and prepare to be wrong. Next, is there a question that you would like to discuss? No? So we go directly to the last part here. Any questions from the audience?
Donald, thank you very much for sharing. So I actually got a question about this confirmation bias, Donald. We know that most of the time, whenever we are taking the decision over a problem at the office, sometimes that I myself will go more to the narrow framing. It's like a very short like discussion me towards the other teachers, things like that. So does this book actually give us like probably something takeaway that we go further towards like in having, uh, for example, we are having meeting and what kind of decision making that we should go through so that it is not like very short term, like especially people, mostly myself, like go with this confirmation bias and narrow framing.
Sorry, so do you mean the techniques to
Yeah,
overcome?
yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question. So to widen your options, there are several tips from the authors. The first one is to think about the opportunity cost. So we have a certain amount of time or certain amount of resources available, and we think we will spend these resources for this, but what are the alternatives? So this is opportunity cost that will give us options. An example given in the book is the President of the United States in the 1950s, Eisenhower, who is a general from World War II, was thinking about building producing a new bomber, but he decided against it because a bomber, the cost, the money can be used to build many schools. I don't remember the exact number, maybe hundreds of schools, just one bomber. So that is an example of opportunity cost. It is better to spend the money to build the schools because it is now peacetime compared to building a bomber. Another technique is called vanishing option test. So suppose your current option, your preference disappears. You can no longer do it. What would you do? So that is another way to force ourselves to consider new options. Let's say we prefer to take this job or this scholarship, and let's say there is no such option. It disappears. What are you going to do? Yeah, so these are two. Actually, there are more, but I will go to the second one. Reality test your assumptions. We need to ask, the first technique given is ask these confirming questions. Usually we ask confirming question. Why is this a good idea? Maybe unconsciously, and we find confirming evidence. But this confirming questions is the opposite. We ask, why is this a bad idea? And then we find evidence to support the opposite. It is called this confirming question. And then we can find the base rate. The base rate is we find the statistics, the big picture statistic for the decision. We can ask expert for this. Okay, so those are two techniques. Again, for the weighted option, you can think about the opportunity cost and then think what if the option disappear, and then to reality test your assumption, you can ask this confirming question and also consider the opposite, find the base rate. Yeah, these are some techniques. That's it. Answer the question.
Thank you, Donald. All right. Do we have any other question from the floor? Miss Pipit, Norman, Miss Paramita,
Really
Deborah.
clear to me. Oh, Fajar has a question.
Oh, Fajar. All right. Okay. How to make conversation when it comes to spicy topic, for example, politics. All right, because it seems to be stuck in the bubble. Okay, Donald, I think that the question from Pazar, it's there. How to make conversation when it comes to spicy topic, example politics, because its side seems to be stuck in the bubble, always confirming their bias, rejecting opposing views. All right, Donald.
Yeah, thank you, Fajar, for the question. This book is about decision making. So ourselves as decision maker, it is not about communication. So the book doesn't talk about this question because it is not about communication or communication skill, but about ourselves as the decision maker, what we should do.
Okay, thank you, Donald. Pazar. Yes, Miss Pipit, please.
My question is, I don't understand the second option about what happened if this guys might come thing. Okay. I don't understand about the point about what happened if this choice disappear. Does it mean plan B? Are you asking for plan B if the second option, or what happened if it fails, or what is the nature of what happened if this option disappear? Yeah.
So an example. Okay, let's say I have a family business, and in my family we have restaurant business. Just example. Now we have money, let's say 10 billions, quite a lot of money. Of course, my tendency is to open another restaurant. That is the tendency. Now, this option means, suppose you are not allowed to open a new restaurant or to open an F&B, food and beverage business. The option just vanishes. That's why the name is vanishing option. It's gone. It is not in the universe. So what are you going to do? What are you going to open? What kind of business are you going to open? So that is the meaning of this option, to
Yeah,
help
but
us
how
fight.
does how does that help us decide though? After we find out that, okay, if we cannot open a food and beverage business, then I would open like clothing store. But then if I come up with that answer of the plan B, how is that gonna help me decide the decision?
Yeah, this is the part of the first stage. This is to widen your option. So the purpose of this step is to encourage you to consider other options. Later, how to make the decision, there are three more steps. Reality test your assumption, and then attain distance before deciding and prepare to be wrong. So there are three more steps. This is just to give you more options instead of just the default option.
Okay, so open our mind to other possible
Yes,
options.
yes, yes.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
thank
it, Miss
you.
Pipit. Thank you. Do you still have the other one from the floor?
Yes, I have a question
Yes,
for
please.
Donald. Donald, I've done a test. I forgot what kind of psychology test that before I make a decision, I'm a kind of person who uses a lot of facts. So I collect facts, informations in details. However, when the time to make a decision comes, somehow my feeling dominates my facts. And even though the facts say yes, but I have a gut feeling that says no. So I am a person who always follow my gut feeling. And finally, even the 99% of my facts say yes, but my gut feeling that 1% say no, I will say no. So how do you explain this? Is this good or not? Or is this supposed to be avoided? Or is it supposed to be like this, following your gut feeling? Thank you.
Thank you, Mamita, for the question. Actually, the book is more on the scientific base. Actually, we can talk about this from different perspective, right? This is just one perspective from the book. The book is science-based. So that is, if we talk about faith-based, that's another perspective. And I do not talk about that perspective because this book is about science-based. According to this book, it is not a good idea. That is part of the third step, which is to attain distance before deciding, to overcome the third feeling. The third feeling is short-term emotion. So we can have short-term emotion attachment. An example given in the book is Intel, the processor company, years ago, many years ago, they had to make a decision whether to close the memory chip business or not, because at that time the Japanese companies come up with cheaper and faster memory chips. So they have to decide, should we close this business and focus on microprocessor or not? And it is a difficult decision to make because Intel from the beginning has been known as a memory chip company. So both of the decision makers, the chairman and the CEO, have a lot of personal attachment and feeling because they built it from scratch. And suddenly they come up with a clear decision by attaining some distance. How? By asking a question. Let's say both of us can no longer make the decision in this company and there is a successor CEO. What would the successor CEO do? and both of them know the answer. The successor CEO will just close down the memory chip business. So they did it. So the gut feeling or something that we incline to do without the facts is not recommended by this book. We should take a distance and be a neutral observer to make a decision.
Thank you, Donald. Based on this book, I should now follow my gut feeling. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rita. All right, so I think that's it for Donald's session. Is it? Do you still have more?
I think time to move on to the next one.
I know, right, Donald? All right, thank you very much, Donald, for sharing. Well, now let's continue to the other a person who would love to share. Will it be? I think Miss Mita.
I think I would like to listen to Norman first because I haven't listened to him for years.
I see. Okay, then. Thank you. So we go with Norman. It is. All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, hello everyone. So I would like to share with you regarding this the book Reset Indonesia. So this book is written in Bahasa. The reason why I choose to read this book is because it's quite not typical book that you can find in a bookstore. This is a funny thing that actually when I was playing on the social media, and then this advertising come up on my screen, and I saw the synopsis, and I read the synopsis that actually this book was written by four authors, and for all of them actually already went to across Indonesia. You name it from Aceh to Papua, or even from Sulawesi to down to Rote Island, and they really capture all the problem what will happen in Indonesia. Not only about the politics, but also they also touch the several topic regarding how we are dealing with our economy and also our social. So the question that actually that why make this book is quite interesting. For example, why we do not have our clean and drinkable water coming from our tap. So this is a really interesting question. We have been independent from our, how to say it, yeah, from the Dutch or from Japanese for almost 18 years, for more than 80 years, but up until now we do not have any chance to drink the water directly from the tap. Yeah, because of this question, then I decided to buy this book. So this is really a simple question: why we do not have a chance to drink the water directly from the tap, right? Because because I think our people, we keep talking about wealth, being rich, being wealthy, but then we forget about actually the basic needs of human, actually welfare. So wealth and welfare is two different things, right? Our people keep saying about, oh, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy, but we forget talk about welfare. So what about welfare? Welfare, we are talking about clean water, clean air, right, and proper education, and also proper health system. Okay, so if you're talking about welfare, actually we can take a look on the Scandinavian country, for example, Sweden, Finland. Maybe maybe people, we do not talk about social welfare, because if you are talking about this, then somebody will judge you that actually you are communist, you are socialist, right? So actually it's not. So because of this book now, it's already open my mind that people don't want to talk about welfare. And actually we also have this problem. Because of this problem, we do not have access to clean water. Then companies, private company, they created bottled water, right? And then they sell to us, and then we consume, and then we have to pay the money to them. But actually, only if the government, they can create social welfare by providing us this clean and drinkable water directly from the tap, definitely we do not have to spend our money to this private company, correct? So actually, yeah, this is only some of the topic that really give me some, how to say it, some new realization that okay, this is something wrong. That's all, starting from the clean water, and then if we are talking about being wealth, as we know, why our people or our government always keep saying that we are rich country. Indeed, we are a rich country because we have a lot of minerals that we can exploit and then we can sell to overseas. But at the end of the day, do we have a free education? Do we have a free health system? I don't think so. So this is something that again we have to separate between talking about being wealthy or we have social welfare. So this is because this is two different things that we have to focus on or we want to improve. But again, I don't want to be really emotional talking about this because as some of you, I think Fajar asking about discussing about politics, right? To be honest, I never go to any election day. So I just want to become really a free man because at the end of the day, whoever our leader is, again, we always stuck talking about being rich, talking about being wealthy, but then we forget about improving our welfare. Again, clean water, clean air, right? Proper education and also proper health system. So, what is the solution actually coming from this book that I learned? Like I already mentioned, either we can adopt from Scandinavian country that let's build first the welfare, clean water, clean air, proper education, and also proper health system. Okay, or we can also say change the way we measure our economic activity, like I know that even Indonesia we measure our economic growth based on GDP, correct? Gross domestic product, GDP. I think most of the country who adopt the capitalism model, we always measure our economic growth based on GDP. How about Bhutan? Okay, Bhutan is a country nearby China or Nepal. You know Bhutan. Bhutan, the way they measure their economic growth, actually they do not use GDP. Instead, they use GNH, gross national happiness. This is quite interesting. Why happiness? Because actually in Bhutan, they, of course, they do not have natural resources like we have. We have a lot of gold, coal, or even nickel. Okay, they do not have that one. But what they have forests, right? Forest, because they maintain and they cultivate the forest. At the end of the day, they can have pure, clean water and also clean air. Okay, and they also something interesting that actually they have free education system and also healthcare system because they want to make sure that the people in the country they are happy because of what? Because they can have clean water, clean air, free education, and also free health system. And one thing really interesting because people, some of the tourists, I mean many tourists would like to visit Bhutan because of the beauty, the beautiful natural resources of the forest, right? But the funny thing is that if you want to go to Bhutan, you have to pay high taxes just to become a tourist. So that's why the reason why they put higher taxes to become a tourist in Bhutan because they want to prevent tourists destroying the forest. So they want to maintain the number of tourists visiting the country is very less. So the purpose is to maintain the beauty and also the health of the ecosystem in Bhutan. So this is quite an interesting how we measure our economic growth. Like I always say, maybe from my internal community, I will talk to myself and also my friend. Please stop talking about being rich. Stop talking about being wealthy. Let's figure out how we can have a clean water, right? Clean air, because even like living in BSD, actually, we also have a problem with the with the waste. the smell of the air during the in the morning and also the night. Sometimes you can smell, oh, it's very nasty. You can smell the air is not proper. And even people here in South Tangerang, they like to burn the waste. So can you imagine that? Even you have a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you have dirty air pollution. I think we you will be so sick. It doesn't matter how much money you can earn, but if you smell the pollution, you are not healthy. So this is something that I'm really interesting about this book. Okay, so to cut it short, let's discuss if you have any question. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Norman. Such an interesting book.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that I will just go directly to the floor. Does anyone of us here would love to ask or would love to share something to Norman as well? Who go first, Donald or Miss Pipit? Oh,
And by
Miss
the way, this is the
Pipit.
book.
Oh,
This is
that
the
is
book.
the. I
Yeah.
see.
You cannot find it in Gramedia.
No, cannot see.
I,
Because
It's
blurred.
blurry, Norman.
Cannot
It's
see it.
blurry. Yeah, you cannot see it. Like
it's blurred.
Norman,
Let
can you hear
me-
us?
Yes.
Norman, can you hear us? Cannot see the book.
Yeah. Let me blur my. Okay. Just
Cannot find it on Gramedia. How can we read it? It's
I
like
can send you the link.
underground,
Actually,
underground market.
yeah, I can also share you this WhatsApp number, and this is like a indie bookshop where you
Okay.
can order this book.
Not Berdikari, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually, the authors themselves, actually, they they are the one who produced the Dirty Vote video. If you know this Dirty Vote
Hmm. Okay.
on YouTube, yeah.
Dirty book. Okay, I have two questions. The
Yes,
first
please.
one was the why actually water is only one of the public services the government provide, right? So in terms of the public services, I think our country is very well known that the government do not really want to invest in public services. They usually come up with the excuses that the people do not want to pay for it. Like people only want to pay a little. Kalau dinaikin sedikit aja udah marah, for example. So the government only invest a little bit, because they know it's hard to get people to pay. But then also people do not want to pay because they know it's gonna be corrupted by the government. It's like a vicious circle. We don't know which one should be um, unraveled first to somehow break the cycle. The second one is about the Bhutan one. Um, I'm actually teaching this in class. Just because the name is gross national happiness, it doesn't mean it's always happy. Actually, recently in Bhutan, there was a big protest of the government corruption and everything like that in the name of happiness. In the GNH term, happiness means being in line with nature. That's their definition of happiness, basically, right? And that become an excuse, for example, not to give people electricity because they said the government, you don't need electricity because it will the carbon footprint, emission, all of these things. So whenever the people want something which is a little bit modern, as simple as electricity, the government somehow give them the excuse that, oh, this is not our main goal as a country because you know if we do electricity, then it will reduce our GNH, something like that. And I think apa ya? Oh yeah, there are a lot of documentaries visiting Bhutan. Actually, it was so many laws. For example, the social media is banned there, and also the clothes. People have to wear traditional clothes. Only few of them get the permission to wear modern clothes and something like that. So I think the point here is every solution always has downsides. So we need to look at them in a critical manner, I think. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you. Suryani?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Miss Pipit. All right, Norman. Hello?
Norman, can you hear us?
Norman? I think that Norman cannot hear us, I guess. Oh,
Yeah, I think
I think
he's
he faced
taking
problem with
notice.
the audio, I guess.
Yeah, Norman, can you hear us?
He's talking, it doesn't go.
He's talking,
Yeah,
but
the audio is not connected. I can see
mm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Deborah has a question. I don't know if Norman can.
Deborah, do you have any
No, 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 no,
questions?
no, 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 I don't have any question.
You press it accidentally. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Norman, can you hear us? Yeah,
He can hear us, but
he
he
can
cannot
hear us, but
back.
yeah, guess it's
Should we
yeah. Proceed
let
to
him
the other
sort it
one
out
first.
first and then go with Kak Mita first?
I guess so. Norman, that's okay if you probably just fix the audio first a while. Then we go to the third person, I guess. Yeah. I think we go with Miss Mita, Miss.
Hello. Okay,
Yes.
I'm going
All
to
right.
send you some pictures. I was waiting for Gusti because I think she was the one who gave me some feedback during my first presentations for my books, but I don't think that she's here yet. But I'll go with the what do you mean with the book? Here's the I'm going to send to our book brewers for the
Oh, there she is.
content of. Is that Gusti?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, hi, Gusti.
Hi. Good
How are
afternoon.
you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
It's good that you're here because you were the one who gave me feedback on my book. So this time I'm going to share the book with you. So please give me your feedback again because I
Okay.
remember the last time you were telling me which emotion that is the main uh, discussion, like which is most important in my book.
Oh, yeah.
So I found out the answer today and I'm going to share that with you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still sharing this with Bookaholics as well because Norman is not in the book brewer, so I'm sending this to. If you check the WhatsApp group, I have the cover of the book and also the chapters of the book.
Okay. Reason
All right,
daydream brings to
all
soul,
right.
self-mastery, self-awareness. Oh,
Let me do the video. Hi. All right.
I see.
Did you see that, Gusti? The content of the book. So everybody, my book launch party is gonna be on December 6th, and that's my birthday celebration as well. So today is the day that I need your feedback on the book. So if you see in your WhatsApp group, the book Brewers, I have the cover, but there is a slight change on the cover. So the title is changed from this current title, which is Bittersweet, the Power of Self Mastery to Transform Fear, Doubt, Anger, and Pain. And then I add to peace. Because at the end, I concluded that is the goal of our emotional journey. We are allowed to have fear, doubt, anger, and pain. However, we need to remind ourselves that our true self, our divine self, and our highest self is peace. So no matter what is going on in our life, we have already peace within ourselves, or we have the kingdom of God is within ourselves, or we are basically peaceful being. So that's the conclusion. So I'm going to change the cover here just to add at the title, The Power of Self Mastery to Transform Fear, Doubt, Anger, and Pain to Peace. And also, if you see the little logo on the on the cover that says Cross Cultural Communication Center, I started it in 1998 in October. I started teaching Bahasa Indonesia for expatriates and also teaching English for Indonesians. And I've done a lot of cross-cultural coaching and trips as well. So this is a diversification. I started writing books in English, and this is my fourth books, actually in spirituality genre and also human development, like human capital development. And because of these books, I finally decided to change the name of the Cross Cultural Communication Center to Across Cultures because I've seen that this is too old. It's been more than 25 years. I want to present something new. So that's a little bit about the cover. And about the content, this is so interesting, Gusti. Thank you for asking me. I started this book because I found that I'm 52, almost 52 in December, and I'm going through the hormonal ups and downs as a perimenopausal woman. So my emotion is really, really dominating my life at the moment. And I started asking myself how I could control the anger because, with the pandemic, with the changes that is been going on in our world so fast, so massive, it's a bit bothering a person like me who likes something stable and certain. However, Gusti asked me during my book presentation the last time, what is the most common or what do you want to focus on in this book? Which emotion? And after I talked to a lot of people, somehow I got to see my old friends whose spouses passed away. And I realized grieving is the most common emotion that people around me experience. And most interestingly, actually, because of certain events in the world, such as Gaza, actually, people in the world simultaneously are experiencing grieving. However, they are not aware of this. Those who are aware mostly are the people who volunteer for the nonprofit organizations, the activists who deal directly with the victims in these war zones area. So they just feel grieving in a tremendous way. But actually, I found out that my anger actually started from my grieving as well, grieving sadness that I've been repressing about Gaza, about the pandemic, about now like a layoff for 900 employees of Starbucks, the capitalistic effects that we just see. That's why I like Norman's book, because Norman was the one who introduced me to another book called Small is Beautiful, the book that is teaching the traditional school teaching, not the capitalistic, the modern world teaching, because the modern world teaching that teach us to be rich, to be wealthy, to be productive is bullshit actually. So we need to start going back to the traditional school, which is the consciousness, the mindful economy, and things like that. And there is a risk, like Norman said, we will be called communists, socialists, but we have to make the world back to peace, to joy, to happiness, not to grief, to anger, to pain anymore. So that's what I found out after doing this book. So thank you, Gusti, for asking me which emotion is actually the most important one. The world is grieving. I'm telling you, we need to be aware we're all grieving. And in my book, I'm giving you some textual and also from some personal experiences, how people deal with their grief. For example, in chapter 1, we need to know ourselves. So there is awakening to love, a journey towards self-mastery. How do we do that? In chapter 2, daily journaling. Every day, if you have time, write for half hours about your fear, your anger, your pain, your grief, your happiness, whatever you're feeling, write it down. Based on Stephen Covey, managers who do journaling half hour a day increase their productivity twice. So I highly recommend you to do that. And then know your value. Why? I experience this myself. When I'm in a personal relationship, I thought things would work out well, but at the end, when I realized my values and his values are different, things can create conflict. So, really know your values. What do you value most? Is that integrity? Is that wealth? Is that health? Is that safety? Know what triggers you most. Most of the triggers in our life that make us angry or hurt actually represent what you value most. And then the third one is simple daily self care. So know yourself, love yourself. How do you do that? You know the best. For me, I like to unplug from social media. From I turn off my phone, I turn off my laptop, I turn off my tablet at least once a week for 24 hours. And I just sit down, I daydream, I contemplate, I sing. I don't even listen to my music. Or if I have time, I cook. Or if I don't have time, I sleep, or I do daycare spa at home. So self-love once a week, unplug, unplug, unplug. These IT things, the technology, the social media really ruins our brains and our emotion. If you unplug for 20 hours once a week, and every year unplug yourself 7 days a week from all the gadgets, your life will change. I've had a friend who unplugged for social media for 6 months, and he got better body, he's got better emotions, more stable. So unplug, unplug, unplug. That's one of my simple daily self-care. And then the embracing change. I read a book about Santi, our movie star, Indonesian movie star, and Indonesian singer. She shares about change is important, and these days you have to change. Change is inevitable. So she said that adaptability is very important. how she changed from a singer into a movie star. She said she doesn't make money from playing movie, and it's very stressful. But it gives her the freedom to experience different personalities, different characters, and she has to let go all the branded bags, the branded clothes, the glamour, the bling bling that she has to perform in front of the audience when she plays her movies. And at the end, she gets a best reward, which is going to Cannes Festival, uh, to show that one of her movies become one of the best international movie in Cannes Festival of France. So for me, I challenge all of you to change. Do not be afraid of change, because change is necessary nowadays, especially when you fear of changes, when you don't want to rock the boat, you don't want to move jobs, you don't want to move towns, you don't want to get married, you don't want to have children. Challenge yourself, yeah, because change is good. That's the paradigm. Change is good and adaptability is important. And the next one is creating a supportive environment. When you feel sad, when somebody dies in your family, that's the number one stress according to psychology. The number two stress is divorce. Yeah. Don't deny this sadness. Don't resist. I went to book fair and I met Dee Lestari, the author of 17 books. One of her books is Philosophy Coffee, and the other one, the new one, is Selaras. She said when her husband passed away, which is Reza Gunawan, she was prepared because she was trained by her husband to experience the pain, to go in, to go deep inside yourself. She calls it mencerna. And she also teaches us like the tap exercise. So when you tap your forehead, you also feel your heart. You could feel the immensity of your pain. It becomes magnified, but you have to feel it. You go through it, you go in, you go through, and then finally you go beyond the pain. But most of us, we run away from the pain. We go beyond that. We drink alcohol. We party all night. We date another person and have one night stand. It doesn't heal the pain. It distracts us, even it destroys us. So you need to go in, go through the pain, and when you're done, go beyond. Then you can start doing karaoke, exercise, or everybody cry, cry, and cry first. Because I met people who is not done healing, you spread the pain everywhere and you hurt people. So my advice here, navigating pain, go in, go through, and go beyond. And celebrate your life achievements. I put 50 not 50, but some of the pictures of my life achievements. I call them gratitude pictures. So things that spark joy in my life, what I've done well, what's working in my life, what makes me happy. Because in my previous book, Breath of Love, I talk about wheel of life. Actually, everyone has 10 aspects of life, but when you lose somebody you love due to death or divorce, you forgot the other nine aspects of life. Or when you go bankrupt in your business or you lose your job, you forget you have your parents. You forgot you have your family, your children, your wife. You forget you have your friends. You forget you have your uh, spiritual gathering, your pengajian, your church. You forgot other things because you only think about one thing. And the last but not the least is create a vision board, your dreams, what you look for, what you're hoping for, because hope is the greatest medicine. Because I think faith and hope is the answer. So at the end, you will return to peace. Choose peace over being right. Choose love over hatred. Back to you, Suryani, and I welcome any feedback.
Thank you so much, Miss Mita, for sharing. That is such a very wonderful book indeed. Looking forward to it as well. So, does anyone hear from the floor before we go later on to Norman's back? So, probably, does anyone would love to ask question or a feedback for Miss Mita's book? Probably from Agusti. Yeah.
I feel like the presentation is much better. It's more focused on like self-love, like how how do we deal with ourselves, yeah. And that's it's better. It's better than previous presentation. I could feel the spirit. And then I want to share something that maybe you can add it into your book, maybe, yeah. So about self love, yeah. So uh, all this time I thought that if we want to love God, we have to love God more than ourselves. But then my friend, uh, she got an enlightenment, and then she said that actually, by loving ourselves, we maintaining good relationship with God. Because if we love ourselves, we will take care. We will take care ourselves. We will appreciate ourselves more. We will accept our fate or destiny or any event that happen in our life, whether it is good or it is bad. We will embrace it all and then feel that like grateful towards God that have already given us life. And what is interesting from my friend is that she was highly depressed before. She was suicidal. She once tried to suicide by what is it, and she made like preparation for that. So she wasn't only have the she didn't only have the thought, but she also made a real preparation for that. And she kept saying that I want to die, I want to die, I want to die. And then I and when I tried to ask her like what happened to her, and then actually she had no emotional support from her parent, and then from her sister. And then she was betrayed by many people. Like she like to give, she keeps giving to other people, but those people uh hurt her, so didn't appreciate her kindness at all, and it made her really desperate. And then she was really negative, and even she had this condition like derealization disorder. Like she felt like she was not in her own body. So she felt like I am not me, I'm just an actor. I'm not I'm just an actor that living in this body, something like that. But then after many times of contemplation, she already she got like an enlightenment that she need to take care herself. And then after that she feel more grateful with her life and become more positive by the meaning she takes care herself by keep doing sport. So she keep exercising, so she will maintain her ideal weight. And then she learned to cook by herself, so she can manage the menu. And then she felt like my cooking is really delicious, even more delicious and cheaper than the food I bought outside, something like that. And those how she start to love herself. And I was like, wow, because the changes was really drastic from suicidal into more positive person. And when I listening to your presentation, Mbak Mita, I remember about her story. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Self-care,
Oh,
self-love is really important, and most of us, and some of us, even me, when I talk to her, I realized that I don't love myself enough. That's why I don't try really good in maintaining myself, and then don't develop my potential maximally and something like that. And I feel like, oh, so need to self-love, yeah, self-love. Yeah, it's like a shock for me, because yeah, I once thought that loving God means you have to love everything, love God above else, if above yourself, but it's not like that. So I was like, wow, I want to, yeah, I want to love myself. I want to start loving myself more now. Okay, yeah.
okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing as well. Yeah, I think that could be making all for Miss Paramita's book, probably. So we continue to Norman's, I guess, the Norman's book. Does any one of us here would love to ask question, or one question enough, I guess, because we still have one more Miss Pipit who is going to share the book. Donald, do you have any? Or Miss Pipit? Oh,
Okay.
Miss Pipit just now gave two question to
Yeah.
Norman.
How many minutes do we have left?
Five
Maybe?
minutes. 5 minutes for Norman.
Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, all right. 5 minutes. Yes, please, Norman.
Yes, regarding those two questions, I can you repeat it again, Bu Pipit?
It was very long. We only have 5 minutes.
Okay, maybe I try
I
to.
like the general national gross national happiness. It's not as splendid as it seems, just because the name is happiness, and a lot of people think it's a cover up when the government doesn't want to give like social services to the people in terms of modernity, such as electricity. They will say that is against the GNH itself. That's why even recently there's a big protest in Bhutan, because there are so many laws that restrict their daily life, including what clothes to wear, and then social media is being banned there and something like that.
Okay, so regarding on that, maybe I also would like to give my perspective regarding on that, because if we are talking about Bhutan basically they are like majority is a Buddhist, right? So Buddhist, the way of thinking is about how to say it, being humble, right? And even being humble is not very good. I mean, everything that we do is too much, then it is not really healthy. That's why again I also agree with you that not every system is perfect. That's why we need to improve. But in terms of Indonesia, like you said that even the government say they keep giving us the excuse that maybe people they don't want to pay for this. I think this is the conclusion from this book, Reset Indonesia. Maybe because of our political system is already bad. Because even in this book, they mention that our political party actually is more like presidential party. So what does it mean? It means that if everybody who wants to join to become a member of party, they just want to become an elite. They want to have a position, whether in the government or in the state-owned company, you name it. So the focus is only they want to become something, or they want to become someone special. So they don't think about the public opinion. So, but if we are talking about creating an organization or party, actually the, the reason why people gather as an organization or a party, um, we want to do something. We want to focus on improving the welfare. So actually, that is the reason why I also say that if we want to change something, then we have to persuade all the ketua partai, because at the end of the day, if we talk too much, if the ketua partai they don't want to change the system, then no, we cannot change. So I think how to change the system, then somebody needs to persuade this all the ketua partai, and then they let's reform the way we are doing we are creating our nation again. There is not any such perfect system in this world, but if they want to listen to the people, I think we can change the way we are doing, especially about the corruption and nepotism and so on. You name it, all the bad things in Indonesia, you can name it. But again, we need some people to do that. And yeah, I hope that Pak Purbaya, one of the figures, I don't want to mention the name, but again, at least we need some technocrat that really can spread the being the integrity about the integrity, and also be honest about the things that we have to improve and how we can change. That's all from my side anyway.
Okay, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Norman. I think it will do, Miss Repeat, for Norman session, I guess. So
yeah,
last
thank you.
we have, thank you very much, Norman. So we have Miss Pipit for the last speaker. Miss Pipit, please.
I agree with Norman, by the way. What I think at the start we need to legalize that undang-undang perampasan aset and restore the death penalty for corruptors, not only during the time of crisis, because we
Mm,
do have the death penalty for corruptors, only
mm,
applicable during the economic crisis, but
mm,
it extended to even normal time.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll start. Okay. My today is the deal landing. Actually, I planned to present about a different book called um, the greatest scandals of the 20th century, but I forgot to bring it. So I just grabbed something in my bag, and this is about the D-Day landings in World War II. I'm actually 10 pages to go, but I think I have quite a good insight from some of them, but not a lot. I don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it. So basically, anything that is interesting about World War II to me is the fact that after it ended, how quickly enemies become friends and how quickly friends became enemies that time. So as you know that actually the USSR and the US and the UK were allies during World War II. But then as soon as the World War II ended, the USSR and the UK, the USSR and the US and the UK were enemies. Right, started the Cold War. And I said this interesting. I found it interesting because in this book, they have the the excerpt of the declaration, Tehran Declaration, where these three leaders, Roosevelt, Stalin, and Winston Churchill met. They said that actually we shall work together in war and in the peace that will follow. Okay, obviously it did not happen. The peace that will follow did not happen. The Cold War actually went a lot longer than the World War II, right? And I found it also interesting how Iran was actually the ally, was part of the ally. That's why it was chosen as the place of this peace talk. Oh no, of this conference between three main ally nations. But I guess that's why that was before the Islamic Revolution in Iran. Yeah, that's why they were seen as the ally of the ally, basically. And then I think, oh yeah, something interesting is that if before the D-Day landing, which was the turning point of the World War II, when the Allies started to win against Germany, that time the US did not have any land battle experience at all, basically. So even the British troops or the British government doubted whether the Americans could actually do it. They had no experience in doing that. So they had an agreement. Why don't you practice first? Okay. Before we attack Germany from the occupied France, why don't you practice first? And they did the practice. They actually attacked the North Africa occupied Italy, I think, that time. So this experience became the practice and then made them more confident before they landed in Normandy and things like that. And another interesting thing is how the British soldiers were jealous of the American troops, not only because they had better salary and better equipment, but also because they were more popular among British women. There were often fights between American and British soldiers because of women. And then not only the soldiers who fought with each other during this preparation, actually the generals of the Brits and Montgomery from Brits and then Patton from America, the main general under Eisenhower, they also fought with each other. Usually because both of them were very self not like egoistical, I would say, like a very ego inflated person. So that's why when they talk to their soldiers, address like the morning session, something like that, they somehow took a jab with each other, against each other. So they shared like dark humor about each other, something like that, to the point that Eisenhower even sent letters to both of them, threatened to fire both of them because these two generals actually said something that offended each other, basically, and that was not a good example to the soldiers. So I think I found that very interesting that someone in the top positions can also be that trivial, talking about these things, knowing that there's a big invasion coming ahead. And then another thing that we can learn is about one of the reasons why Germany lost that time is because Hitler was the main decision maker, particularly in the military, this one. And often he had no understanding of what actually happened, but no one dared to tell him, basically, including which part of the beaches that the German soldiers had to anticipate the Western invasion and what kind of defense system they employed. But Hitler's subordinates, actually wrote in their diaries that Hitler's decision was actually stupid. Yeah, although they said it in a very polite manner, it's just a fantasy. He thought we could win with all of this thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think it's very interesting because even their soldiers actually disagreed with him. Not all of them thought of him like God, basically. But of course, they were kind of afraid to show it in public, right? So I think that is another interesting thing. We have to avoid this type of top-down decision-making process, I guess, because I see that a lot in Indonesia, which the main decision maker actually had no understanding of what actually happened in the ground. So I think probably that what we can learn. Another thing is that a lot of people who actually contributed a lot in the war did not get the credit for it because mainly the reason why the D-Day landing or the Normandy landing was successful is because of the intelligence community. So that time, including the Enigma, I'm sure you know the cracking the Enigma code, right? So the people who worked for the intelligence that time did not even get the proper credit of their work, even though that was actually the one, maybe 50% of the success contributors in this turning point of the World War II. And then, oh yeah, basically, they realized that in this type of war, there were no room of errors. For example, during the practice itself, the practice, not even the actual invasion, 700 soldiers died during the practice because of one error, one mistake led to 700 soldiers died that time from drowning, accidentally getting shot, or hit by rocket fire. This is caused by themselves, not even the actual war. And then because of this practice that killed 700-ish soldiers, they realized that there was no room for mistakes in this invasion. Okay, and then the last one is about, it's interesting that we thought that United Nations actually happened after the World War II ended, right? We thought, the winners became la 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 la. But then in the letter of Eisenhower sent on his order of the day during the D-Day landing, he actually mentioned United Nations. We are United Nations. he said. So I'm gonna share that with my students because I thought United Nations is a term that was born after World War II, but this one is not even. It's actually in 1944. And then last one is, oh yeah, too much practice is also sometimes not good. It happened to the German soldiers in that were stationed along the coast of France. They had too many practices that the commanders gave them false alarm in the middle of the night, any time of the day. They became immune to these alarms. So okay, this is another false alarm. This is another practice. So the on the actual day when the alarm blew off, like with the siren and stuff, actually a lot of soldiers went back to sleep because they thought it was not the real one. It was just another false alarm or another a drill or something like that. Until some of their comrades get shot, and then just realized it was the real one. So I found that interesting. Is that it took them months to prepare for the situation, but because how many times their commanders gave them the false alarm, they became immune to it. So I think over preparation, although I think there's no such thing as over preparation, but in this case, it turned out to be did not to backfire in the outcome of this war or this invasion, basically. So I think I don't know from for our day to day life, what we can get is probably how the first one that I said earlier, how friends become enemy become friends so quickly sometimes, and then how when the main decision maker is only one person and the person have no understanding is actually pretty bad, and then how uh if we become like a leader, we should put away our ego aside so we do not end up as that General Patton and General Montgomery who were involved in a trivial fights with each other. And then how over preparation sometimes is not always good because we can be immune to it. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Pipit. Very interesting. Okay. From the floor, does anyone would love to ask? But before that, I think I would love to ask Miss Pipit, how long do we have rest time? Because we still have Gusti.
Only have 7 minutes.
Only have 7 minutes.
Okay. One question I can answer it in 1 minute, and okay, you still have 5 minutes.
Okay, all right then. Okay.
I have
Gusti.
a
Yes,
question.
yes. Ha 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 ha. Donald, please.
Yeah. So the D-Day landing happens in 1944. So that is after Germany attacked Russia, Soviet Union. Like, they were beaten very badly in the Eastern Front. And how did it affect their defense of the Normandy?
Yeah, actually, thanks to the USSR, because that time the German soldiers were divided into two. That was factored into the success of the Normandy landing, because obviously Hitler could not easily take the German troops from the Eastern Front and move it to the Western Front. Not only the location is so far, but also Russia actually really made them busy there, although the casualties from Russia's side is 20 million. 20 million soldiers and civilians died in the Eastern Front during this World War II. But then, yeah, this book also mentioned or give credit to the USSR about thanks to the Eastern Front heavy fighting. So then Hitler had no choice but to divide the power into two, his military power into two. Yeah. Actually, a lot of the soldiers in the Western Front are still 16, 17 years old. They are less experienced compared to the Eastern Front. And also, oh yeah, there was one diary of this one soldier who is not even German. He was not even German. He was drafted because he was on an occupied Germany area. And then he said, we don't even have anti-craft gun. And I see an aircraft there, something like that. So they were really under armed and also very young and inexperienced. I think my time is up.
Yes, okay. So
And
thank you, Miss
sorry,
Pipit. Thank you, Donald.
if
Yes, Gusti.
if you want to continue with Miss Pipit, I think it's okay because the book I want to talk many things about this book. So I think 5 minutes is not enough. So if it is move to next month, I think it's okay. So you can continue it.
Gusti
With
will reserve
Miss
the first
Pipit.
presenter of next month with to you, but please come on time.
Don't make it 12 ya. Don't make it 12 o'clock.
Oh, 12:30. Nggak bisa lah, 1:30 harus selesai.
Okay.
Ya nggak apa-apa lah. We reserve a spot for you next month, okay?
All righty. Okay, so I think we do still have some more question for Miss Pipit's book. Just now the book that she has presented earlier. The D-Day landings. Okay, very nice.
Because we must finish by 1:30, maybe we take photo first, Pipit.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
actually, Kak Mita, maybe after taking photos, if you want to answer to the feedback.
I want to ask one question to Pipit.
Oh,
Yeah,
after
Okay.
foto ya
okay.
Kak, boleh.
Oh, we want to
Show
take
your book.
After the photo, okay.
Norman, show your book. Deborah, do you want to turn on cam? Donald, Gusti.
Deborah, you can turn on your cam.
Gusti cannot hear us. Gusti cannot.
Norman, where's your
Gusti,
book
Oh, there
Reset,
you go.
Reset Indonesia?
you have book, Bora? Oh, okay. No worries.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Wait, what? Sorry, Donald, I have the same problem like the last time. Suddenly cannot take photo.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
cannot.
But I need both hands, so I cannot show my book. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Just go Kak Mita.
Yes, Miss Mita.
Okay, just one final question. Pipit, what's so about over preparation? I think the German soldiers just needed to sleep. They needed to rest. I think that's what we are doing in this modern world. There's a book called Thrive by Ariana Huffington. She's such a hard work. She owns her own publishing company. But one day she fell down and she fainted. She hit her head because she overworked. So she started writing this book, Thrive, telling people to sleep more. So unplug your social media, your phone, your laptop for one day, 24 hours, and sleep all day. And your life will be better and you will win the war too.
Okay, Kak. I'm just afraid when I wake up, I will miss out on a national tragedy or something, and I'm the last to know. That's what I'm afraid of. Like happened during COVID. During COVID, I slept through the entire thing. I did not know why. Suddenly, people were scrambling to buy my hand sanitizers. Like, why? What? Anyway, so
This is so
So
fun.
you're afraid of fear of missing out, but you did not know that COVID came and you're
that
okay,
time,
right?
that time. Yeah, but then, like, anyway. All right. Oh, when is the next month thing? You think, Donald?
Donald,
I
Well,
think
there are
13,
people here.
13. Second week.
13th, yeah. Okay, 13th December, ladies and gentlemen. See you next month.
okay. All right.
Uh,
Thank you,
uh,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Have a nice
Thank
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank
you.
you.
Norman, Deborah.